Shalom, this is Brother Gabal Yeshala from the Gathering Christ Church, New York. We are going over the law. We just read Leviticus. And if anybody has any question of anything that we read in regards to the law, anything that anybody is not clear about, we could review them now. We can review it now, and we can move forward. Okay, I want to just touch real quick. Go back to Leviticus 25 and in regards to the year of Jubilee. Start at verse 8.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years. And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years.
So you've got you have, I mean, you know, the Feast of First Fruits, which is 7 Sabbaths, and what the word called the Day of Pentecost. 7th Sabbath on the 50th day is a feast. So it's the same cycle even with years. 7 Sabbaths, and then also it's 7 years. On the 7th year is the year of Jubilee. Read.
Verse 9. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land.
Right, now, the question is, that year, you have to rest the land, right? Jump down at verse 18.
Book of Leviticus chapter 25, verse 18. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes, and keep my judgments, and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. Verse 19. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill, and dwell therein in safety. Verse 20. And if ye shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year?
So how are we going to sustain ourselves in the 7th year? Right?
Behold, we shall not sow nor gather in our increase.
We can't farm. So how are we going to support ourselves on the 7th year when we are not allowed to farm to give the land rest? Read.
Verse 21. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years.
What people don't understand is that the Most High set up a cycle that he blessed the land a certain year to give a double portion, or really you're going to read a triple portion. But if we don't go by the right cycle, that year when we farm, it's not going to give us the extra portion because it lands on the wrong year. So there's an activation that goes on if we follow the right cycle. But if we follow the wrong cycle, we won't have enough for the 7th year, because the land will not give enough. Read.
Verse 22. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat yet of old fruit until the 9th year. Until her fruits come in, ye shall eat of the old store.
Read 21 again.
Verse 21. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years.
It will bring enough fruit to last you for 3 years. But that year that we're following on the 2nd year, and we think it's the 6th year, we're off. That's why we cannot follow the cycle of the moon. And Elder Ricard touched on that. But a lot of it is we have to get back in order, back to the heavenly order that the Most High has set up. Okay, read.
Verse 22. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat yet of old fruit until the 9th year.
So you will have enough food to last you for the 9th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. See that? Read.
Until her fruits come in, and ye shall eat of the old store.
Until the fruit come in. So on the 7th year, you're not gonna plant. So on the 8th year, you have enough to last you until the fruit starts coming back again. You start planting, but then you have to wait. But you have enough in the storehouse to last you until the new cycle starts again. See that? Read.
Verse 23. The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is
when the Bible says the land should not be sold forever, meaning it would not be sold forever on that year. So the word forever, it means, if you get that in Strong, until you will follow this forever. The land would never be, should not be sold, or should not be farmed on the 7th year of the Jubilee forever. You feel what I'm saying? So you're going to keep that forever. That's why when it goes into the, when it says with the Moabs and Ammon, he said on the 10th, Moabite or Ammite will not come to you into the 10th generation forever, meaning you will keep that. You can't go away from, you cannot, you got that? Yeah, let's get the definition of the word forever.
It's the Hebrew number H6783. Tazam my Yatha. It says excursion, that is destruction, used only adverbially with prepositional prefix to extension, that is perpetually or ever. Yeah,
perpetually. So you will keep this order forever. That's what that means. You will keep this order forever. So when you go to Moab and Ammon, is it what? Deuteronomy 7, I think it is. It is 7 or 24, it's one of those two. No, I think it's 2. Give me 23. Deuteronomy 23. Yeah. Okay. Deuteronomy 23. Just to give you a quick example, sometimes when they translate the English into the English, they go a little off. And I was a little off. You got to remember, this was transformed. This was translated into Old Quaker English, so many words evolved to something else. So we got to be mindful of that as well. You got it? Okay.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 3. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of Ahiah, even to their 10th generation.
Even to 10th generation, read.
Shall they not enter into the congregation of Ahiah forever.
So, most people say, you see, forever. The word forever there means until the time is completed. You get the Strongs with that. You will keep this order forever. They would not. So on the 9th generation, you cannot break this, or on the 7th generation, or on the 6th, or on the 4th. You will keep this forever. You have to do this. You have to carry these through, no matter what. You got that same word, or is it a different word?
It's a different word. It's Hebrew H5769, Ilam, which is properly concealed. That is the vanishing point, generally time out of mind. Right,
vanishing point. So you would keep this until the vanishing point, until the time I gave you, which is 10 generations. You see that? That's right. When you look at the calculation from when this commandment was given, and then Ruth, who was a Moabitess, 10 generations already had passed. Understand that? So sometimes you have other brothers that will look at the description and get caught up with the word forever, but it doesn't mean forever. It meant 10 generations. Okay, and I think a generation was 40 years. Would that be correct? You know, right. That's all right. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Go back to Leviticus. Okay. Yeah. Right.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 23. The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine. For ye are strangers and sojourners.
Now the word here, forever, is a different word that from the word forever in Deuteronomy 23 when it talks about Moab and Ammon. This is perpetual. So perpetually, we're not supposed to be sowing or farming on the year of Jubilee. But if you look at the heathens, they sow every year. That's why the fruits give less nutrients and give less, vitamins, because you're not giving the land to rest. It's a cycle. Okay? So therefore, because of capitalism and greed, we have to keep farming, right? Profit has to be made. Every year there has to be a different profit. So therefore, you got the farming industry that are actually paying farmers not to farm because they are saying, what you're doing is wrong, it's dangerous, or the only way you could farm, you have to buy our seed. And these seeds they're Frankenstein seeds. You basically plant them once, and the fruit is born without a seed. So you cannot mass produce. You have to buy more seeds. It's like a drug game. You have to come over to the pusher to plant your food. Instead of your seed supposed to produce itself. So, as the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil. So once you start loving money to the point that you're going to cut corners and you're going to go to a doctor, can you figure out a way you can create a seed? It can only be planted once, but we can make a higher profit. Let me give you the chart, and as you can see here, we estimate in the next 7 years we'll be able to make quadrillion dollars, zillion dollars. That's the love of money. Okay. Food should not be a business. You should not have companies making multi-million dollars out of food. Why? Because we are supposed to be farmers. It's supposed to be, your food is supposed to be, like when I grew up in DR, and when I grew up, but when I was a kid, I used to go there in the summer. Everything was within, in regards to food, maybe a 20 block radius, maybe. My father had a farm, but let's say he needed something that his farm didn't produce. He would go to the bodega, but the bodega had a farm right in the back. Or you have to, with the chicken, they kill the chicken right there. The farm is born right there. It's not shipped from China or from another part of the Atlantic. It's right there. So this concept of having multi-billion-dollar corporation for foods is not supposed to exist, because we're supposed to be having food within your food source is supposed to be coming in maybe a 50-mile radius, maybe, and that's being modest or okay. All right, so let's continue. Where were we?
Verse 24.
Okay.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 24. And in all the land of your possession, ye shall grant a redemption for the land. Verse 25.
So it's a redemption. You got to redeem the land. Read.
Verse 25. If thy brother be waxen poor, and have sold away some of his possession, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. Verse 26. And if the man have none to redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it, verse 27, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus.
Now, this is dealing with commerce among ourselves. And this was the system set up that we would not have people that are broke or poor. And we have a system that if someone is poor or decayed, as the Bible says, he has a way to redeem himself. So it was a bubble. Now we are able to loan money using usury with other nations, but not within ourselves. That's why when you go into the so-called Jews, they borrow money from themselves without using usury, but they do it to us, okay, to the Goy, or the so-called Goy. All right, let's keep reading.
Verse 27. Then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it, that he may return unto his possession. Verse 28. But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that hath brought it until the year of Jubilee.
So, go ahead.
And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession.
Right, so this is dealing with if someone cannot work, or that's why sometimes if you cannot, this is dealing with you have to redeem something, but you cannot afford it. Now, in verse 25, is going to go with the order now you got two choices. You can wait for 7 years, on the 7 years of Jubilee, whatever that year landed, and you will get back because what happened is that, and maybe I'll do a lesson in depth in the future. Each tribe was given a land, and it was given a position in an acre, a certain acre, certain property, and they built from that. So that order stood. So and there was a situation that if I married, if this brother who's a Judite gives me his daughter, and he doesn't have a daughter, a child, a son, and I marry his daughter, and he dies, naturally the inheritance will come to me or to the daughter, which then eventually I will get it. There were certain laws to protect his inheritance in regards to that will go to his brother, to keep it within the family, because then if I'm the tribe of Simeon, that inheritance will stay I would be able to, so even within the tribes, we were not allowed in regards of inheritance to pass that inheritance to the next tribe. I'll do a lesson on that next week. So there was certain order. That's why when a man is died without a child, the wife must marry the brother and raise him a name to keep it within the family. So if the same brother, that means the same tribe. So you guys get the point. Let's keep reading.
Verse 29. And if a man sell a dwelling house in a walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold.
Read.
Within a full year. Within a full year may he redeem it.
So jump down to 35.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea,
where are you?
Verse 35.
25, 35, right?
Yeah, 25.
Okay, read that again.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee.
Read.
Verse 36. Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee.
So the word sojourner here, or stranger, is a different context with the stranger or the Gentiles. You understand? What's the word there, the stranger? Let's see if there's a different word there. So if a brother falls in decay and then he wants to redeem his possession, you will work with the brother, but you will lend him money, but not in usury.
Stranger or sojourner.
Try stranger first.
Stranger is H1616. Gaia, properly a guest. by implication a foreigner, alien, sojourner, stranger.
Okay.
This could be,
Say again?
this could be a yes, same tribe, or
Right. So read that again.
it says properly a guess, by implication a foreigner, alien, sojourner, or stranger.
Right. So the Hebrew is very driven by not by words, but context of words. So you have to be very careful when you read certain things, because the word there, stranger, is really talking about if he's a stranger, like you don't know him physically, like a guest. So read that again.
35. The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 35. And if thy brother be waxen poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee.
Read.
Verse 36. Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee. Verse 37. Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase. Verse 38. I am the Most High your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your power. Verse 39. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant.
What's the difference from a bond servant and a hired servant? What's the difference? Anybody? Yes? Not really. You're close. But it's one difference. Because in the Bible says, do not. You must also pay your servants, because he depends on that. You pay your servants. There was only one difference between a servant, a bondmaid man, and a worker or a hired servant. Sister Nicole. Now, let's read it. Let's read it. It's going to explain itself.
Verse 39. If thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant. Verse 40. But as an hired servant, and as a sojourner, he will be with thee, and shall serve thee until the year of Jubilee.
So if it's a brother, he will serve 7 years. You pay him. He's able to now, whatever you guys agree on, you could give him whatever acre or acres you gave him, gold, silver, whatever it is. Sometimes you might give him one of your servants, handmaids as a wife. So now he got substance. Now he got things he could work with, and he could build his own little dynasty, or distant dynasty, if you will. Right? Now the difference from a bondman. Let's read. Start at where you at?
Verse 40.
Jump down to 43.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 43. Thou shalt not.
Now, my friend, let me see. Go back to 41.
Verse 41. And then shall he depart from thee.
Then he will depart from thee, read.
Both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return.
So you see that? Dad's going, he goes, you got to keep it within the family. So it's usually, and really the father does not necessarily always mean the physical father. Because usually when brothers fell in decay, it's because their father died in a war or got killed because he got caught something he's not supposed to be doing. So he didn't inherit anything. So he's really not really rich because his father messed up. Now he's like poor. So now he has to work to kind of get something that if his father would not have died in a war or would have not committed a sin of punishment by death, he would inherit. So now he has to work for something and goes back to his family. Now whoever is the patriarch of that family, it probably would have been his father. Now would have probably been his uncle, or someone who's the next in line. He has to go back to the family. So he will bring back his substance back to the family. Read.
Verse 42. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt.
So the Most High did not like us to work for other people because we work for Him, right? Now let's deal with the bondman and bondwoman. Start at 44.
Verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. For them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
Now the way that the heathens that are round about you, there's certain things in regard even with that, because even the Gentiles, they have to be sojourners. You got two kinds. You got a higher servant. We're gonna get into that. And you got now you could get a higher servant who is a Gentile. A higher servant is someone who has a skill. You hire him, and then you provide that service, and you pay him, and he goes home. A bondman is that he is a poor man, or you could have a poor family, and they will sell themselves to service. And it's like similar to when you have butlers that inherit the next generation. I mean, it's common terms like, oh, okay, I'm going comic book over here, but like Batman. But what's his name? Alfred served his father. When Alfred died, he continued serving his son. Right? It's the same thing. So, and a lot of it was dealing with, it's an oath. You gave to oath. I don't know if you've seen that movie Gladiator. And Russell Crowe had a servant. This servant did an oath that he's going to serve him for life. He was always his Lord. So when his servant saw him, my Lord, what you need me to do? Immediately, because it was a different mindset. Now you take care of your servants. You don't. When the word rigor means strict, it doesn't mean you're supposed to be beating your servants. And your servant loved you. Most of the servants sell themselves to you because you was righteous. Like I want to, and you take care of them. You feed them, you clothe them, but it was not like you work, you go home. You live with them. Okay, let's keep reading.
Verse 45. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. Verse 46. And ye shall take them as an inheritance.
As a what?
As an inheritance.
You see that? So you could, these servants, they would buy themselves and to service to your family. So my family, I want to serve your family for the rest of my life. I made an oath to serve you. Read.
For your children after you.
For your children after you. You see that? So when you had nannies that took care of the child, and then the child grows up, and then the child has a child, and it's the same nanny. Right? Read.
To inherit them for a possession.
Read.
They shall be your bondmen forever.
Now, the myth is that all Gentiles that were among us were servants. That's incorrect. In the next scripture, it's going to prove that. Read 47.
Verse 47. And if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by thee.
Read that again.
And if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by thee.
Read.
And thy brother that dwelleth by him wax poor.
Read.
And sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee.
So there was law, there were scenarios that you had Israelites that grew poor, and then you had a Gentile that was among you, and he, like for instance, you will have a Gentile, because remember, and the Bible says that we will be an example for the Gentiles. So you have Gentiles who converted to Judaism, I mean the laws of Moses, not the modern Judaism, but the laws of Moses, and say, I want to be part of your nation. I want to be part of your, but they had wealth. They could take care of themselves. So usually they'll come on their family, or will come on their tribe. And they will become citizen or citizen with limited rights. There's certain things they could not do. And this is one of the things they could not do. Let's read.
or to the stock of the stranger's family. Verse 48.
Read.
After that he is sold, he may redeem again. One of his brethren may redeem him.
You see that? So the redeem after the 7 years. So he will work for the stranger or the strange family. After 7 years, one of his family have to redeem them. You see that? So it becomes, and this is nothing new in regards of nation. You got to remember, you got to look at this as a nation. The Constitution of Israel. When you go to other countries, can you automatically right away buy property? No. You have to be a citizen. You have to spend a certain amount of years. You have to learn their laws and cultures. You know, swear to their constitution, right? Eventually, then you could get some rights. Same thing here, right? Read.
Verse 49. Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him.
You notice it says his uncle's son, because 9 times out of 10, when a man is poor, it's because his father died. The patriarch died. He did something wrong he's not supposed to have done and got killed. And that destroyed the whole family structure. You understand what I'm saying? So the kids usually just gets, you know, the uncle will adopt them as a, you know, it becomes that situation. But then the uncle may not have enough to take care of him because he hasn't built yet. You see what I'm saying? So he has to take on an extra wife, some kids that he didn't really want to prepare for because something stupid his brother did. Or he died in a war or something, you know. Okay? Read.
Or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him, of his family may redeem him, or if he be able, may redeem himself.
He could redeem himself. So we're not supposed to have been bondmen or bondwomen to the Gentiles. They could be our servants for life. They could sell their service to us, but we cannot sell their service to them. We can only work for them for the 7 years and then redeem us ourselves, or one of our family has to redeem us. Read.
Verse 50.
And this law will protect the country of Israel, or the government of Israel, that it would not be taken over economically by strangers. You get what I'm saying? So you notice how you got certain countries. You got, like right now in China, they're buying all kinds of property in Africa. You feel what I'm saying? So eventually, 10 years down the line, if Christ doesn't come, you're going to have Chinese people being on top and African people being the bottom. See that? So these laws it's not about racism. It's about protecting your nation, as most nations do today. They have laws to protect themselves from foreigners. You know, so even Israel today, they're complaining about we got to keep Israel pure. You know, Amalek's. You know, really. You not keep the. You know, so that's nothing new. When you see, let me give you another example. Another time when they were a country got afraid of too many foreigners or something. You know, and the people complain about it. It's too many people coming. You know, there's a wave of foreigners coming in. I mean, you guys have heard the.
It happened here.
Yeah, it happened here. I mean, yeah, you got that here.
In Palestine in 1948.
1948, but they took over the land. But you could see also the Esau when he complained, like, there's too many minorities. I remember when I grew up.
We got to put a border in Mexico.
Yeah, you never saw a minority in my town. Now you got Mexicans, you got, you know, so. That is also true in regards of Israel. You see that? Read.
Verse 50. And he shall reckon with him, that brought him from the year that he was sold to him unto the year of Jubilee. And the price of his sale shall be according unto the number of years, according to the time of an hired servant shall it be with him. Verse 51. If there be yet many years behind, according unto them, he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was brought for.
Right, and hold that and go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel, or I think it's 33 or was it 40? I think it's 40. It's 40 or 42. I get it because I highlighted. So once I see it. Maybe 47. It says, in the stranger. Let me get it real quick. I'm in the wrong chapter. Okay. Salakia brothers and sisters. Okay, here we go. All right, 1 second, folks. Let me get it real quick. Yeah. One second. 40, that sounds, that's it, 47. I can't believe it. Sometimes it's right on my face. 47, Ezekiel, 32. 22. 47.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 47, verse 22. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you.
You see that? So a stranger could come and be sojourned. Read.
Which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel.
So among the tribe of Israel, so there will be each tribe they will come under a tribe. Read.
Verse 23, and it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Most High Power.
So whatever tribe he's dealing with, that family is dealing with, they will work for that family to get a piece and inheritance. See that? So that's what they're dealing with. So we so demonized with the word servant, because all we know is American servitude. That's what it's not. That's workers. The word servant or bondman, that's just another word for saying the workers force or the workers. So in the kingdom of Israel, we don't need a workers union because the law is already established. And if you have righteous laws, you will not need unions in America, to protect the workers and all that. So this is the Constitution, or this is the workers union for workers. You see that? Go back to Leviticus. We definitely have to get brainwashed. And people say, what the heck are you talking about, the bar? Look at the term. Brainwash. Wash your brain of what? Filth. We gotta wash our brain of all the filth. There's certain laws, there's certain words that society has changed. They were originally righteous words or positive words like awful. The word all, full. All, full. It's full of all. It was originally a positive word, but now it's considered a negative word. So the English language is like a bastard language. It's just like, go back to Leviticus.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 51. If there be many years behind according
So the word, like I mean, for instance, the word all full could be like, it's like you could use that word to describe somebody that has a talent or something, or he's full of something. You know, but it's not considered only part a negative.
Verse 53. The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 53. And as a yearly hired servant shall be with him, and the other shall not rule with rigor over him in thy sight.
So you know, you can't be a guest in a country and think you could treat the citizens of that country a certain way. That's what the Most High is saying. There's a certain level of respect that has to be there. Yeah, this brother's going through something, but but there has to be a certain order because you're a guest in this country. That's what the Most High is saying. Read.
Verse 54. And if he be not redeemed in these years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he and his children with him.
Read.
Verse 55.
And this is the reason why the Most High has a problem. You know, he put these laws here. This is the reason why he gave it. Read.
Verse 55. For unto me the children of Israel are servants.
Read that again.
For unto me are the children of Israel servants.
We're supposed to be working for the nations. We're supposed to be a nation of priests. We're supposed to be the nation that is solely dealing with the business of the Most High commandments and teaching the Most High commandments to the nation. That's what should be our business. This is our job. Supposed to have been. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to even be worrying about food and farming and all that. We're supposed to be educating the people. We are the educators, the messengers of the Most High. The nations will come to us and say, okay, how does the Most High want us to operate in this subject? Let's go into the law. Let's go into the scriptures. This is how you do it, this is how you do it. And notice it's about everything. No, you're not supposed to split seas. No, you're not supposed to have diverse garments. That's the commandments. So we're supposed to be an ambassador of the Most High. And that's supposed to be our job. And the nation will pay tithes to the nation of Israel, taxes, and that's how the government of Israel is supposed to be governed, pay sustain itself. Okay? Matter of fact, let's read that. What is Zechariah and the Feast of Tabernacle that will come from year to year? See, the nations took, say again? 14. Zechariah? Yeah. Zechariah 14.
14 and 16.
And 16.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 16. It shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Most High of hosts.
And Elder Ricard, came out with something today. There's a lot that's going to go down before the second coming of Christ. There's a lot. When you look at, there is a book in the Dead Sea Scrolls that was discovered. The title is The Sons of God and Sons of Satan, or something, the good and evil. And what's going to happen is that there's going to be a physical war against the sons of the Most High and the sons of Satan here on earth. And that's dealing with, I think Zechariah the 14th chapter says the Most High will lift up the tents of Judah first. And then they will let every man be, I'm a strong man and all that. There's going to be a fight. Now, the fight, I'm in public access channel, public internet. This fight that we're going to be having is not through weapons. We're not going to come together and get guns and machine guns and bomb a militia, right? Because this was going to happen to us. Let's go to 12, Zechariah, the 12th chapter real quick. And 7.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 7. The Most High shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
So most times you're going to rise up Judah first. And this is literally not talking, it's talking about now because, as you know, Judah's rising up first. The majority of the Israelites, they know they're Israelite Judites. You know, there's some Israelites and other Gentiles, other Israelites that don't even know they're Israelite yet. The Hawaiians, they don't know they're Israelite yet. The Aborigines of Australia, they don't even know they're Israelite yet. So a lot of this information is come from Judah. But this is talking about, it's going to explain that Judah is going to receive spiritual powers. Read.
Verse 8. In that day, the Most High defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them,
he that's feeble among them, weak, read,
shall be as David.
Shall be as David. Now David was a bad warrior. Read.
And the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord before them.
Read that again.
Verse 8. In that day, the Most High defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he.
You okay? Yeah. Your throat? You want to drink some water? You want to take a break, or are you? All right, brother, this is like what? Por favor, if you don't mind. Uh, 12 and 7, Zechariah.
Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7. And the Most High also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. Verse 8. In that day shall the Most High defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. And the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord before them.
Read.
Verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Verse 10. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplication. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced.
Who's that? Who's me? Who he's talking about here? Christ. See that? Read.
And they shall mourn for him, as one mourneth for his only son.
Read.
And shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. Verse 11. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadarimmon in the valley of Midian.
And it goes to show you this is dealing with the 10, not the 10 tribes, only dealing with the 3 tribes. Go to, keep reading.
Verse 12. In the land shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart.
Nathan was or the family of Nathan was a Benjamite. Read.
And their wives apart. Verse 13. The family of the house of Levi's apart.
That's Levi. You see that? Read.
And their wives apart.
That's Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Read.
And the family of Shammai apart, and their wives apart. Verse 14. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart.
So this is it's and like I said, one thing I'm trying to note is that the Bible is an incomplete book. You cannot get the full understanding unless you get this book of Jubilees, the book of Enoch, the book of Asher. It's a lot more than just what is here. And what happened is that when we stay in this box, then we start creating an explanation where there is no explanation. When the explanation is another book, we start creating our own explanation. So I think it's only we only have touched the tip of the iceberg. So we have to really be humble and so we understand that a lot of information is coming out in the last few days, last few weeks, is really opened my eyes and the elders' eyes. Like, you know what, we have to re-examine everything, and then just don't. Sometimes when you read something and you don't have an explanation, you give it a symbolic, spiritual meaning to it. You understand what I'm saying? So when it says, with the man they are feeble, let him be strong like the house of David, right? Or like the King David. And you think that's talking about, you could give it a spirituality spin to it. But when you start reading other books, it's talking about literally physical metamorphosis. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of it, we're starting to realize, like for instance, I want to give you a prime example. Years when, in the book of Revelation, when we had the tree of life, that Moses is going to be giving 12, get that in Revelation, 12 manners of fruits for the healing of the nations. We looked at it, well, the 12 tribes of Israel, each tribe, each fruit represents, it's talking about us. You understand what I'm saying? So we give it some spiritual congested understanding. So, and when you start looking at the Bible from a more practical perspective, that it is talking about a literal tree, it's 12 fruits, and the only way we understand that now is because we read the book of Enoch, and it talks about, you understand what I'm saying, an actual literal fruit. We talked about the book of Jubilee when the Most High gave Noah a medicine book. So sometimes we're going to realize that we had the practicality, right, and that dealing with the Most High was more practical. The spirituality was very practical. I guess that's the way I could say it. You got it, brother? 18. Yeah. 12 manner of fruits, Revelations. You got it? Say again? 22 and 2? Yeah, let's get there. Revelation 22 and 2.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 2. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits.
Now, back in the day, we thought we were teaching the tree of life was the zodiac, understanding the zodiac, right? But when we did more research, it's literally talking about a literal tree. 12, you know, it's like more practical. And it's funny because we like the whole mark of the beast argument. Some people saying, well, the mark of the beast is the philosophy of the world. And it's funny because now they're actually introducing the mark of the beast or the chip to society. And what I'm noticing is that by even having that breakdown, that the mark of the beast is talking about following Esau's culture and society and things of that nature, and removing the actual practicality of a physical mark of the beast, an actual chip being implanted in you, that could work against you. Okay. You can rub it on that chair. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So, I wouldn't be surprised there may be some other groups out there, brother. You could take the actual chip. That's not the mark of the beast. Just keep the Sabbath holy. See what I'm saying? And I bet you the Most High is looking down on us right now, like, these fools. I told you a chip. You know, so when you start looking at the Bible from a more practical and we go out of space. We try to get like, well, brother, try to break this down to you, brother. And it is what it is. And it's like the Most High probably like, listen, man, these guys are something else. And I'm starting to realize, being open to these other books, and I was always open to the book, but really studying these other books, like, wow, it's more practical. Like, for instance, Thursday night, you had a brother who was suffering from paralysis or some sleeping disorder that he feels is somebody's on top of his chest, right? And of course, fast, pray, commandment. That goes without saying. But then we read in the book of Jubilee that these diseases are actual demons, right? And I wouldn't be surprised, and I gotta call Truman Burns, I bet you there's a remedy for that. I bet you there's a natural remedy for that. And what I'm thinking is that the study of herbologists, because nature testifies of the Most High. In other words, if diseases are demons and they could be cured with herbs, all we have to do, and this was what herbologists do, is trial and error. What we have found is if you take herbal tea, it reduces blah, blah, blah. What we have found, if you take this tea or this herb, it reduces blah, blah, blah. So Noah did not have to do the testing. You feel what I'm saying? But if you do the testing, you will probably have the same verbatim, the same teas and herbs that they gave to Noah, but we had to get it, the hard way by doing testing. You feel what I'm saying? Because nature testifies of the Most Highs. You understand what I'm saying? 2 + 2 = 4 all the time. So that's evidence. So if the herbs can kill you, it's not surprising that we could find ways to figure that back out. Just we have to kind of work ourselves backwards. So what I noticed is that the knowledge was it was ours to lose. We had it. He gave it to us. We lost it. So now we got to get it back. You understand what I'm saying? We got to go back, work backwards. Keep reading.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 2. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yield her fruits every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
So the tree, brother, represents Israel, brother, and the leaves, it represents what it's actually saying. You understand what I'm saying? All right, so let's go back to Zechariah. Yes. Right. Right. And this is what is the problem or the issue, is that we read that in the book of Jubilee that one of the sons of Noah found the records of the Nephilim of their observing of the moon, the sun, and the stars, and their knowledge. So I believe we have to be very careful with that, because even dealing, and the great thing about, and I had speaking to Dr. Truman Burns in length, there is no side effects dealing with herbs that could kill you, in the sense that, like colloidal silver water, the greatest side effects is that you drink it too much, you start turning a little blue or something, a little color or something, but then you stop, it goes back to normal, but it could never kill you. And that's like the greatest, but when you got the side effects of the demonic, pharmaceutical industry, you read, you may get killed, you may die, you may commit suicide, you might kill your mother, you might, it's like insanity. So the greatest side effects of some herb or something may be that you might, what have you. Even, and I'm not promoting pop smokers, okay, but you never heard, someone smoking the marijuana killed 3,000 people, somebody in the airport or somebody in a movie theater. You understand what I'm saying? Really, the tea is just hemp is just a tea you drink. You could form it as an oil, or you could, it has other medicinal use. But you notice, even use it in a natural form, whatever comes to the earth, is not, when you use it in its pure form, it's never toxic. It's only toxic when you split the cells. That's why the Most High said, do not grow cells together, because what you're doing is if you plant two seeds together, it will create one seed. It will create one plant. You understand what I'm saying? It will morph into a different species. You're not supposed to do that. And that's what they do in the molecular level with these drugs. Well, we took a little bit of this, we took a little of that, we took a little of that, but we figured out it cures you of this one, it cures you of this disease, but the side effects is A, B, and C. You got to take another pill for that side effects. And then before you know, you're taking like 12 pills. Right? Let's read.
We have finished up Zechariah.
Yeah, Zechariah 12. And let's jump down to 14. Zechariah. So I'm realizing what is the whole special thing of Israel. Is not necessarily so much us. What was the first time or the first thing that, and get that, brother, you can find it and just let me know, and then the brother does. When Noah was happy, did Shem inherit the land? There was, I think, I got to highlight it. I think it's in, okay, you got to highlight it yourself. I'm sorry, I saw a hand up.
No, I wanted to say I spoke about side effects, how doctors have a surgery and have pain and they give 30%.
Right.
My father.
Yeah, my wife's father went to a surgery. They was giving him, what is it, Percocet. The man was seeing things and people in his room. There were people in his room. He was, and we told him, you got to stop that. Stop that. Because you're gonna eventually. And then you had another guy next to him. He couldn't live with the Percocet. He loved it. So he was screaming every time, he needs more, he needs more, he needs more. And you see the doctor come in, and the guy said, yeah, I'm hurt, I need this and this. Okay, just up the doses. All right, you want just up the doses too. And they just move on to the next patient. These hospitals are satanic, man. Read.
14 and reverse.
14 and Zechariah 14. Let me get it real quick. You get to know? Okay, let's hold that. I just want to show you guys something. We are just lucky. We are just lucky individuals. Zechariah 14 and 14.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 14.
Matter of fact, you can start at 15. And you know what? I'm sorry, Shalakim. 14.
Verse 14. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathens round about shall be gathered together.
See, and I'm going to say this. There's a lot that is going to go down after Babylon falls. Because the argument that Christ is going to come back and we're going to be in Jerusalem or we're going to be in the land of Israel, it is correct. So the so-called Jews, well, we're fulfilling that prophecy, right? But after World War III, no more America, but it's also going to be no more Israel as a government. It's going to be a desert again. That whole area of the Middle East, and you got to remember, Babylon's going to be destroyed, but Babylon is going to do a lot of destruction too. America's not a pushover, so they're going. That's what the Bible says, that he has become as weak as us. So after that, it's going to be no more big malls, no cities. Let's go see the movies over the weekend. It's going to be just back to farm life, simple life. Technology is going to, it's not going to, so a World War III, my friend, is not going to be pretty. I mean, it's going to be really like, that's when the Bible says that 10,000 will fall on your left, and 1,000 on your right, and 10,000 on your left. So he's going to be protecting us, but we should really get out the way of these, these conflicts. So a lot of these, Israel is going to be, Saudi Arabia is going to be totally discombobulated, because they're going to get involved. So it's going to be just basically going back. We're going to be able just to walk in, and there's going to be no, police, Israeli police. There's not going to be no checkpoints. Now we're going to start building, and what's going to happen is that the beast, the dragon, is going to come start getting against us after we're there in the latter years, So we're going to be in that area. We don't want to go there now because we have to wait until the judgment comes. Then we're going to be in the land of Israel. Remember, now the land of Israel is from the land of the river of the Euphrates into the Nile River of Egypt. That's Israel. So we're going to be in that area. Okay, read.
Gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. Verse 15. And so shall be the plague of the horse and the mule, of the camel and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in these tents.
Now this is after Christ sitting in the throne of David, and he's ruling the world. Read.
As this plague, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King.
Worship who?
Worship the King.
Read.
The Lord of hosts. And to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
And to keep what?
And to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Now, and we got to do more research. There's 3 special places. You got the book of Jubilee. Now let's read that. When Shem inherited, when it says that he was happy, that the Noah glorified, the Most High, because, and it talks about that it was the 3 places. Okay, the wilderness, Jerusalem. Okay, read.
This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 17, verse 18. Chapter 8, verse...
Who does not have a book of Jubilee? Does not. But at the end of the month, everybody should have one. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. Jubilee, book of Enoch, the book of Joshua. No excuses. Very cheap, very accessible. You just go to a Barnes & Noble. If they don't have it on stock, they will order for you. They'll be there in 2-3 days. It could be delivered to your house.
It's even cheaper on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But these are not, they're not, I bought this in Barnes & Noble for $14. This is,
I got my email.
and you know where you can get them a lot too? If those that live in Brooklyn, you got these downtown Brooklyn by the courthouse, they got all those books, those guys selling those books. The book of Enoch, all of them, And if they're very man, I'll get it for you. Next week, just come back next week, And so there's no excuse. I got it. Okay. Read.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 8, verse 18. And Noah rejoiced that his portion came forth for Shem and for his sons.
So Noah took 3 scrolls, and he gave it to the 3 sons, and each son picked one. So it was all by chance. So when Shem took his portion, he read it. Okay, I'll get from the river Euphrates to the river Nile, yada yada. Noah's like, yes, I'm glad, because he loves Shem. Right? Read.
And he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy, for he had said, Blessed be the Most High God of Shem, and may the Lord dwell in the dwelling of Shem.
When this happened? When was this statement made? What was happened right before it? What chapter and verse you in Jubilee?
This is chapter 8, verse 18.
8 and 18, okay. Chapter 8 and 18. Or verse 18. In chapter 8, verse 18. Chapter 8. Now what was when he read that again? See if you guys remember.
Blessed be the Lord power of Shem, and may the Lord dwell in the dwelling of Shem.
When he said that, what happened? What happened when Noah said that? Something happened right before it, remember? Okay, let me give you a clue. He cursed one of his sons. What happened? A month. Come on, stand up. For now, every time I call somebody, you gotta stand up and speak loudly. But stand up. Well, stand up, brother. Let me say, come on. Just tell me what happened. Just tell me what happened.
Cursed Cain
Yes, yes. And why he cursed him.
for seeing his nakedness.
Right, Okay, and then after that, what he did? After he cursed, who he cursed, first of all?
Oh, Cain.
Who?
Cain.
Who's Canaan? Okay, right. And then after that, after he cursed the son of Ham, what he did? Let's get it. You got it, what is that? Genesis 10, I think it is. Get it real quick. You gotta know these stories and be able to jerk into these stories. Bum, 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 bum. When Noah was celebrating a feast day, he got drunk in his tent. In the morning, his son Ham looked upon his nakedness, and then went and told his brothers. His brothers, when they found out, they took a cloth and they walked in the tent backwards and covered the nakedness of his father. When his father came around, he found out what happened. He knew what happened, and he said, "Cursed be Canaan. Of servants he will be, and curse and blessed be the God of Shem." That's what he was talking about. So read.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 20. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, verse 21. And he drank the wine, and he was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent, verse 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. Verse 23. And Shem and Japheth took a garment, and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. Verse 24. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. Verse 25. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall be unto his brethren. Verse 26. And he said, Blessed be the Lord power of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Verse 27. The Most High shall enlarge in Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Verse 28. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years.
Okay, so go back to the book of Jubilee.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 8, verse 18. Blessed be the Lord power of Shem, and may the Lord dwell in the dwelling of Shem.
So go back when Noah found out that the inheritance of Shem. 18.
Verse 18. And Noah rejoiced that his portion came forth for Shem and for his sons. And he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy. For he had said, Blessed be the Lord power of Shem, and may the Lord dwell in the dwelling of Shem. Verse 19.
Now this is the reason why his father was happy. Read.
And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies.
So he knew that the inheritance of the land master was inherited to Shem. The Garden of Eden was there, which is like right and tight by next to Iraq or Saudi Arabia, next to the Euphrates River. Read.
And the dwelling of the Most High and the Mount Sinai.
And Mount Sinai, that's the dwelling of the Most High. So that's the capital. That's where the king is going to be sitting. Read.
The center of the desert.
The center of the desert. Read.
And Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth.
No, Salakim. Read that again.
And verse 19. And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies, and the dwelling of the Most High, and Mount Sinai, the center of the desert,
Mount Sinai, the center of the desert. That's the wilderness. Read.
And Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth.
Mount Zion, which is Jerusalem, the center of the navel of the earth. What's that talking about? What's navel? What that word is, the definition of that word? Is dealing with ships, naval ships. But it is the center of the earth, and when you look at it, connects Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. It's a port, right? So therefore, when people will go to each point represents something. The Garden of Eden, what's going to be there? The tree of life. And Mount Zion, or Mount Seir, or the wilderness, what's going to be there? What was done there? Moses did what? Spent to the Most High. He did what there? What was done there? The sacrifice. So Jerusalem is going to be capital. The king is going to be dwelling there, Christ. And it's going to be the commerce. That's when everybody goes and brings their tithes. For healing, it's going to be the Garden of Eden. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to be each port, and we're doing more research on that as we speak, but each point is going to have something. We read it again.
Verse 19. And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies.
Is the what?
The Holy of Holies.
Read.
And the dwelling of the Most High.
Read.
And Mount Sinai, the city of the desert, the center of the desert, and Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth. These three were created as holy places facing each other.
Read.
Verse 20.
So is location. That's, real estate, So Shem got the best real estate out of the other two brothers. He got the holy areas that are still holy. But there's certain mechanism that has to activate the spiritual or get that in Ezekiel 35. I think I touched this a while back. The only way the world are able to, this land is able to activate, the people of the land, the original people must come back. And the land is waiting for us. I'm going to show you. Give me Ezekiel 35. I don't know, I've been accused of jumping around from different subjects. I apologize. Ezekiel 35, and you can start at the first verse.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it.
So I can go to 36. That's it. It's connected because he's prophesying against Mount Seir, which is Esau, and in he's saying that Esau said, "Aha! I got your land as a possession." But start at 45, 36. It's all connected, but 36 is dealing with the land itself. The Most High speaking to the land of Israel.
Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel.
Now the mountains of Israel is not talking about the nation of Israel, because the word mountain sometimes is talking about a nation. But in this context, it's talking about literal, the land of Israel. It's going to prove that. Read.
Hear the word of the Most High. Verse 2. Thus said the Lord power, because the enemy has said against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession.
What is the ancient high places, or the holy places we just read in the book of Jubilee? You see that? Read.
Verse 3. Therefore prophesy and say, Thus said the Lord power, because they have made you desolate, and
they have made you what?
they have made you desolate.
That's why when you go to Saudi Arabia, all that area, which is really our land, is really a desert. It's not supposed to be a desert. When you look at the Bible, that area was the most beautiful area in the world. How could that be? Read.
And swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen.
Now he's talking to the physical land. Keep reading.
And ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Verse 4. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord power. Thus said the Lord power to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys.
See, he's talking to the physical land of Israel. Now the land of Israel is not the little state of Israel today, which is like as big as New Jersey. He's talking about the land that was promised to Israel, which is, I forget that, I think it's Genesis. Well, you get it. I mean, you keep reading, but you get it from when you have it. And find out also there's a scripture when it says that it was passed to Jacob. That Jacob was given the blessings of his father Abraham. Keep reading.
To the desolate wastes.
To the what?
To the desolate wastes.
Read.
And to the cities that are forsaken.
Are forsaken. Read.
Which became a prey and a derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about.
Read.
Verse 5. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession.
They done what?
Which have appointed my land into their possession.
That was to show you the so-called Jews today are not the real Jews. Read.
With the joy of all their heart, and with despiteful minds, to cast it out to a prayer. Verse 6. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus said the Lord power, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy, in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen.
You had to deal with my fury in my indignation, and you had to deal with the Gentiles, with the heathens. So he's talking to the land of Israel, the physical landmass. Read.
Verse 7. Therefore thus said the Lord power, I have lifted my hand, surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame.
They shall bear their shame. Read.
Verse 8. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches, and yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come.
Read.
Verse 9.
Read that again. They are what to come?
For they are at hand to come.
That goes to show you the people there are not there now. They're not the real people. And this goes to show you this is talking about he's actually talking to the land, the physical land. That's why the land is wasted, because the real people are not there. Because that land was created to serve us. That's why it's a desert now. Read that again, verse
8.
Verse 8.
But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches.
You should do what?
You shall shoot forth your branches.
That's why it's a desert now. Read.
And yield your fruit to my people of Israel.
And you do your what?
And yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come.
They're coming soon. So stand tight. I know you have to deal with the foolishness and the abomination of the heathens and all this. And you have not really blossomed as you're supposed to be blossomed for almost thousands of years. But then my people are coming. Read.
Verse 9. For behold, I am for you.
I am what?
For behold, I am for you.
I'm with you. I'm with you, land of Israel. That goes to show you that he's talking about, this will be the equivalent speaking to Mother Earth or what have you. He's talking to the land. I'm with you. Read.
And I will turn unto you, and ye shall be tilled and sown.
You should be what?
And ye shall be tilled and sown.
You can't farm in Saudi Arabia now or in Yemen. It's a desert now. How that's going to happen? When the nation of Israel comes back. Read.
Verse 10. And I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel.
Hold on, who?
All the house of Israel.
Read.
Even all of it. And the city shall be inhabited.
You think that a little state like Israel the size of New Jersey will be able to hold us? Come on. We're going to be all the way, all over through the Middle East. Because that's our homeland. Read.
And the wastes shall be built. Verse 11. And I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit. And I will settle you after your old estates, and will do.
I would set you the way they used to be back in the days. Read.
And will do better unto you than at your beginning.
So the land of Israel is going to be even more beautiful than it was before. Read.
And ye shall know that I am the Most High. Verse 12. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Israel, and they shall possess thee, and thou shalt be their inheritance.
Read.
And thou shalt no more henceforth bereave them of men.
So you don't have to deal with these heathens anymore. Where you at?
Verse 13.
13, keep reading.
Thus said the Lord power, because they say unto you, thou land devourest up men, and hast bereaved thy nations. Verse 14. Therefore thou shalt devour men no more, neither bereave thy nations any more.
So part of the nations are saying, when the people of Israel are in their land, that's part of the blessing. If you put the people of Israel, the real people, the blacks, Puerto Ricans, the Haitians, and the Mexicans, all the Israelites, and start practicing just alone the commandments and the feast days, that becomes a terror to the nations. So it's always been about nation, nationality, and terror. And you know what the funny thing is that they ignored the nationalistic aspect of the Bible. But when it comes to prophecy, they don't ignore that. Well, you know, in the Bible, Gog and Magog, we got to watch out for the Russians. Isn't that a nation? So the Most High deals with nation. He uses nation for his deals. Now, the Gog and Magog, that's dealing with Japan, but most people, we grow up with, we got to watch out with the Russians, because in the Bible it says the Gog and Magog is going to rush up against Israel. Right? Read.
Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 15. Neither will I cause men to hear in thee the shame of heathen anymore. Neither shalt thou bear the reproach of the people anymore. Neither shalt thou cause thy nations to fall anymore, said the Most High Power.
Okay. So now I know I was running around different topics today. Yeah, brother. Genesis, yeah, the land mask. Yeah, get that real quick. Oh, yes, sister. Well, yeah, I believe that, yeah. Yeah, the land is like crying out for the Most High. Right. And that's it on the Jubilee when Shem was happy, but it's more.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to get the last land mass, it's in Jubilees. They give you everything when you start off verse 12.
Right.
Pretty much
So if you want to get the physical land mass, you go to the book of Jubilee, chapter 12?
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7?
Excuse me, chapter 8. And it starts at 12 all the way to 19 of the river.
Right, but in Genesis gives you from river to river, so you get an idea.
Yeah, the same thing.
Okay.
What I had got was Jacob receiving the blessing of Abraham.
Right, and then you hold that and then go to, I think it's the 12th chapter, I get it. When the Most High said, I'm going to give you this land from the river Euphrates. So the argument that you could say, well, I'm Shemitic, an Indian, a Palestinian, a Jordanian, a white person, an Arab. So that land was promised to Shem, and it was promised to Abraham, and Abraham will be the father of many nations. So out of Abraham came those 5 nations: Elam, Esau, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon. So they all could be saying, well, we are entitled to this land too. We're Shemitic, and that land was promised to our forefather as well. Let's read that. Jesus.
Genesis chapter 12, verse 7. Start from verse 6. Genesis chapter 12, verse 6. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plains of Moriah. And the Canaanites was then in the land. Verse 7. And the Most High appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there built he an altar unto the Most High, who appeared unto him. Verse 8. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hion on the east.
Yeah, hold that. Go to 15 and 18 to show you the actual land that he gave them, the promises. That's the one.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. In the same day the Most High made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
So the great river Euphrates into the Egyptian Nile River. And when you look at it, it goes all the way and stuff from Egypt, it goes all the way down to Ethiopia. So anything between those two borders, okay, you got some parts of Ethiopia, you got Yemen, you got Saudi Arabia, you got some parts of Iraq, some parts of Iran, or most of Iran really. India, that's all us. Right? Read.
Verse 19. The Kenites and the Kizzites.
You can hold on it because he's giving you the different. Well, keep reading. I'm going to show you something.
Verse 19. The Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Chemonites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Raphaims. Verse 21. And the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites.
So he's telling them, not only I'm going to give you this land, but I'm going to give you all these nations. Because after that it goes into chapter 16, goes into a different subject. Now the argument, and people say, well, I'm Ishmael, my friend. Ishmael, I'm the sons of the firstborn of Abraham. Right? Let's read. Where you at, Brother Kwame? Yeah, I want to see that the blessings went to Jacob,
Okay.
of his father Abraham.
Genesis chapter 28.
And this is not to degrade any other person or any other nation. We in the Gathering Christ Church accept every nation. The truth is truth. For the love of Christ. It's okay for us to accept other nations' religion, but why is it that? I would hear an editor call on England with that when he was debating with the Muslim. All major religion in the world, the three major religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, has the Bible as the foundation. But none of them follow the foundation of the Bible. The so-called Jews, they follow the Kabbalah. They say, well, that's the real. Now we're going to get into some of the culture that came from the Kabbalah in a few minutes. Brother, I don't know if you got that, the ad. Islam respects Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all the patriarchs, but they follow the Quran. Christianity say, well, we're no longer under the law because Jesus saved us from the law. So none of them are following the foundation and where they're claiming they got their foundation from. So, there's something to think about. Let's read.
Genesis chapter 28, verse 1. And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Verse 2. Arise and go to Padoram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughter of Laban, thy mother's brother. Verse 3. And the power Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee.
Where are you, brother?
Verse 3.
Jump down to verse
It's right there in verse 4.
4. Okay, keep reading. Yeah, that's it.
Verse 3. And the power Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. Verse 4. And give thee the blessing of Abraham.
Give what?
And give thee the blessing of Abraham.
So that didn't go to Ishmael, Esau, Moab, or Ammon, or Elam. You see that? Read.
To thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger.
So that's the same. What the land is from all the way from the land or the river of Euphrates to the Nile River. Jump down to 13.
Verse 13. And behold, the Most High stood above it and said, I am the Lord power of Abraham, thy father, and the power of Isaac.
So when you see the word I am there, that's the Most High's name. And when it gets translated, like you said, I am the Lord. But this is the Most High says, I am the Lord. So it's like saying, Gabar, the elder. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like my name and my title. I am the Lord of your father. You understand what I'm saying? Read.
The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. Verse 14. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. In thee and in thy seed shall be all the families of the earth be blessed.
And how are they going to be blessed? Go to Zechariah. We're going to end it there with that scripture. Say again? 14, yeah, 14 and 16.
Okay.
This is how they're going to get blessed. So we'll end it there. And babe, you can start getting ready with the communion.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King.
You worship the King, read.
The Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Verse 17. And it shall be that whosoever will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
So if you want rain for your crops in your yearly cycle, that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you ever see that, it's a joke, but it's like, somebody's complaining about the job or something like with both. I want to raise, like you want to, it's like your blessing is keeping your job. You want to get fired, or you want to continue working. So by nations to basically do and prosper and do what they've been doing, cropping and eating and raising family, they're going to have to give praises to the King. Now if they don't do that, read.
Verse 18. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Read.
Verse 19. This shall be the punishment of Egypt.
So this will be the punishment of the nations. Read.
And the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Read.
Verse 20. In that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord, and the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Verse 21. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be the holiness unto the Most High of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seat therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Most High of hosts.
So we know, like I said, we have to get into greater details on each point has a special function of holiness and righteousness. But in Jerusalem is when everybody's going to give their tithes, pay the taxes. You paying your taxes, brother? You paying your taxes? It's like society is very practical, like most society function today, but only in righteousness. That's why it says, "Your kingdom come; it will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Okay. So I know we have some visitors coming for the first time, so you could maybe introduce yourself. Who's here for the first time? You can raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, 5. Okay, brother. What's your name and who are you and why are you here? Yep.
From Ohio. My first time being here, I come here with my young father, my brother, John, my wife, Dr. Hall, and we just came to check it out.
Okay. And you came from another. You came from the what? The One West or the?
Yeah, I was in One West back in the early 80s.
Okay.
They did a separation. I went to Yamaha in 1991.
Okay.
I left him in 97. And I haven't belonged to any congregation since
Since then,
then.
okay.
But I still serve the Lord.
That's great. Amen. Sean, just give the Most High a hand for that. Okay, we see a brother in the back. First timer. Okay. Okay. Welcome, brother. All right. And you guys are together? Okay. That's sister, wife, just your friend. Okay. Welcome, sister. You want to? How you guys heard about? Oh, okay. Okay. So you invite her? Yeah. Okay. So, sister, introduce yourself.
I'm Tricia, and I'm also here for children.
Okay.
And I see that two different a lot of people more better.
Okay. All right. Welcome. All right. Right. So, so a quick brief, like what we are all about for the people that are somewhat new and brothers that been with the truth for a while. What just makes us different from most churches? Well, the basic thing, we still keep the law to the best of our abilities, the laws of Moses, and we believe in Christ is the Messiah, the only begotten. We don't believe that Christ is God, but Christ is the Son of God, or the only begotten Son of God. We call on the name of the Most High, the name that He gave Moses in the wilderness, and when He told Moses, when you go into the children of Israel, go and tell them, I am has sent me. When you translate that in the Hebrew or the ancient Phoenician Hebrew, is Ahaya. Most Christian church or other Israelite groups might call them Yahweh, and we do have a lesson, and Elder Ricard do have a lesson on Skype. Let me just grab it real quick. On YouTube, breaking down why we do not call on the name of Yahweh or Yahweh or Yahvah. The different interpretation of that name is because that name was put in by the Jewish masters between the 7th and 11th century. They put in the Bible so much, actually they put it over 2,800 and something times. And they also put it on the books of Genesis, when the patriarchs like Abraham or Noah did not know the name of the Most High. So it was a typo on, and we have a whole lesson. We don't want to do a lengthy lesson now, but the only time the Most High called or ordered his name or commanded us to call him by a particular name was Ahia. So we go on that name, Ahia, Ashar, Ahia. I am that I am. We also believe in the baptism of Christ, literally and spiritually. We believe that we have to physically baptize ourselves the same way as Christ baptized himself by John the Baptist. We have to baptize ourselves, but we must understand that the physical baptism is the ceremonial portion of the journey of your life, the new beginning of your life. So if you get baptized physically and you go back and do the same nonsense you were doing before, it's like you was not, you must be baptized in water and in spirit. So those two things must occur. We also believe that the 12 tribes of Israel are the so-called African Americans, Hispanics, Aborigines of Australia. I know some other Israelites do not accept or understand or have that understanding of the Aborigines of Australia, and also the Samoans, Filipinos, and also some of the Vietnamese from Vietnam are part of the 12 tribes, in particular the tribes of Nephtali. So we probably differ from most churches, most Israelite church. We accept other books and other records that are verified by the Holy Scripture, like the Book of Jubilee we was reading, the Book of Jasher, the Book of Enoch, and things of that nature. And we do accept Gentiles. The ancient Israelites always accepted Gentiles, and Gentiles converted to Judaism, not the modern Judaism, but the laws of Moses. And we were cool with them, and they were cool with us, with the understanding that they are coming into the Commonwealth of Israel. Other thing, anything else that I missed? Anything else that we keep the feast days? That goes without saying. And also, in mentioning the feast days, we know that the new year starts at March 17 sundown. So March 16 is Friday. Saturday sundown is March 17. That's New Year's. Happy New Year's. 14 days from that is the Passover, which lands on March 30th, which is a Friday sundown. We do not follow, and there's nothing, we're also different from other Israelite church, we do not follow the cycle of the moon. Elder Ricard did an extensive lesson today about that. And we follow the cycle of the equinox, or what you would call Enoch's calendar, which is 364 days, and is a cycle of the sun, not the moon. If you follow the cycle of the moon, you're going to come in 10 days too short every year, as the book of Jubilees chapter 6 and 36 says. The word new moon in the Bible, when it gets translated and you go into the Strong Concordance Bible, or you go into the original word, it means month. It does not mean new moon. So when it says on the new moon, it's really saying the new month. So that would throw you off. Elder Ricard did an extensive lesson today. There's more that we have to do more research, because this really was revealed to us maybe a month ago or 3 weeks ago. So there's still a lot more information, but we do know that the calendar of Enoch is correct. And we have to just understand, the only thing that we have to kind of touch up or look into is that as we grew up with the understanding that the Passover on the time of Christ, he was in the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. So when Mary and Magdalene went into the sepulcher on the first day of the week, we had to understand, and we are doing research, that was dealing with the Roman calendar. And the Roman calendar had 9 days. So we got to do more research to understand. And what we also looked at is that when in the New Testament, when it says the first day of the week, it means, the translation of the original word is Sabbatos, which means Sabbath in Greek. That's where the word Saturday or Sabado in Latin comes from. So when it says the first, when it says, for instance, when they came together, like get that in Acts 21, I believe. Acts 21. Acts 21, or 20? 20 and, is it not when it came together the first day of the week? Well, it could be 15 or 17. Hold on, let me read it. 18, Salakia. Okay, that's it. 18 and, say again? 20 and 18? Oh, chapter 20 and 18.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 in verse 7. There you go.
The book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 7. And upon the first day of the week,
Now get that, the strong concordance there, brother.
when the disciples came together to break bread,
Now, most Christians would use this and say, see, brother, you got to celebrate the first day of the week. Now, start at verse 2.
Acts chapter 20, verse 2. And when he had gone over those parts and had given them much exhortation, he came into Greece. Verse 3. And there abode 3 months. And when the Jews laid wait for him, as he was about to sail to Syria, he proposed to return through Macedonia. Verse 4. And there accompanied him into Asia Sopater and Berea, and of the Thessalonians, and Articus, and Sycidas, and Gaius.
There's a scripture that says, and there be the feast of the unleavened bread.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. Oh, that's it. There you go. It's right on top. Good. Read.
And of Asia, and of Tychus, and Trophimus.
Jump down to verse 6. So like, I took you all the way up there because I thought it was in like verse 3 or something. Go back to, start at verse 6.
Acts chapter 20, verse 6.
So Paul is giving a journal of what he was going, was in his journey, to where town he went to preach. Read.
And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread,
Unto the days of the unleavened bread,
and came unto them to Troas in 5 days, and where we abode 7 days.
we abode there 7 days. And remember, how long is the feast of unleavened bread? Read.
Verse 7. And upon the first day of the week.
Stop. Get the Strongs. Where it says that the first day of the week.
For the word week is G4521, Sabbaton.
Sabbath what?
Sabbaton,
Read.
of Hebrew origin.
A Hebrew origin. Read.
The Sabbath.
The what?
The Sabbath.
So. Okay, read it again, brother.
So, it's Greek word G4521, which in the Greek is Sabbaton. It says of Hebrew origin, the Sabbath, that is Sabbath, or day of weekly repose from secular avocation.
Now, so the translation would have been now on the first Sabbath, or on the first Sabbath of the week. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to do a lot more study because the right. This is we found out there's a Greek word for first, and this is a word here different. So there's different times there's not even saying the first day of the week or first. Acts 20 and 7. Say again. It looks like the word there. Yeah, when you go into any like a blue letter or the strong, you usually see like a quotation stating that it was day. So they put it. So if you take out the word day, read it and read it without the word day, or any other word that you see that it was added.
Acts chapter 20, verse 7. And upon the first of the week, when the disciples...
Or put now upon the first, the word there, first day, is Sabbatos, right? The word, the first day of the week is Sabbatos? Okay. So, what day is not the word day?
Yeah, day is the only one that's not there.
So the word day, so it says, now upon the first Sabbath, supposed to be the translation. Right now, the word of the, these are verbs, so these are added for our vocation. So the translation should be now upon the first Sabbath. You see that? So like I said, and that also played a big part on the birth of Christ and the understanding, because we thought it was like he was crucified on Wednesday, he was buried Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday he was risen Saturday afternoon. I think that it's we got it all wrong.
Look at the word first, which is the word other.
Right.
So there were 7 days before, so this would be the other.
Right, and then we came from the school of thought that the word week and Sabbath means the same thing. That's where we kind of came from the understanding, because that's what we understood. We took the understanding because the word there is Sabbath, and then we looked at the word there week, so we assume that the word week and Sabbatos is the same, it's interchangeable, but we figured out that it's not. So we got to do more research on that. Yes, sister. No. Okay. Alright, I'm going to hit you with some. If the Passover lands every year on the Sabbath, right? According to our new understanding, we just figured out this a few weeks ago. And guess what? It lands on the same date every year. It's a cycle that whatever calendar you're in the world, you're in China, Germany, whatever calendar they follow, once you have the understanding, it follows in the same cycle every year. So March 30th is the Sabbath every year. When you go into the equinox of the cycle of Enoch, it lands every year the same day. Okay? Now, so therefore, if we got that understanding, then if Christ had the feast Friday night, he was betrayed Friday night, he should have been in the cross Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon at 12. He died at 3 o'clock Saturday. You see what I'm saying? So he would have been buried 3 days and 3 nights. That would have been what? Wednesday? So what's this thing about the first day of the week? Well, we're finding out, and we have to do more research. Like I said, there's a lot more research we got to do. That there was a certain feast day that the Jews were following, and there's a feast day that Christ was following. That's why in certain areas in the Bible, when it says, now, the Passover of the Jews Now, sometimes when you look in the translation, it says Ish, the Jewish. So you got the Herod was involved and all that. So there was a division, and we're noticing that not only do you have different sects, but different sects were arguing about which feast dates were correct, what day it landed on. On Sunday, right? Well, we're still following the Gregorian calendar, right? But during the time of Christ, they didn't have the Gregorian calendar. Right. So, like I said, the whole argument that the Christians used, he was raised in the first day of the week. We're using a different calendar that the Romans were using during the time of Christ. The Gregorian calendar came later. So he would have been born, he would have been risen not even on the first day that we are going by now. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're going by the Gregorian calendar. So, like I said, we don't have all the answers yet, but we're realizing that there's certain clues within, because you got to do two things. The Bible gives you certain clues and certain understanding, but you must understand, you must go outside the Bible to learn the history, what was going on, cross reference to understand, okay, that's what he really meant. So in other words, remember when the Pharisee got upset at Christ and said, why you violate the tradition of the elders by not washing your hands? That's all the Bible talks about. The only way we know why they even said that, because they were following the Babylonian Judaism version of Judaism. You know, so it's like we cannot know that through the Bible. We can only know that through history. Okay, now that makes sense now. Why they were upset? That's not in the book of Moses. Where you got that from? Oh, all right. They were getting this from the Talmud. You feel what I'm saying? So there's a lot more that we have to. But one thing is for sure, the feast of the Passover lands March 30th sundown, which is a Friday sundown this year. Okay. So Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is the feast of Passover. Sunday sundown to Monday sundown is the feast of unleavened bread. You don't eat unleavened bread for 7 days, and then the next week is a what? A Sabbath. Okay. So all right. So those that missing Elder Recall's lesson, he like I said, right now he gave us the understanding through the books of Enoch and Jubilee that the way if you follow the cycle of the moon, you'll be wrong. Now we have the next lesson he has to bring forth, give you the understanding how is that relationship to the time of Christ. You know, so that's the next piece of the puzzle. All right, so folks, we're going to do communion for those only baptized members. Yes. Now, the word new, every time you say new month, it means new month. Every time you say new moon, it means new month, yes. The cycle of the sun, which is called the the other college did a lesson on that there was a National Geographic article that it states that the world has been duped by the Catholic Church because they changed the cycle of the equinox 2 days. So their equinox starts on March 20th, which has been the mainline cycle of the equinox for if you go equinox cycle of the equinox, they're going to give you March 20th. But that was not originally so, because the new year starts when the day is just as long as the night. and that is March 16 at 5:48. So 5:48 in the morning is daytime, and 5:48 in the evening p.m. and the nighttime. That's when the days is equal long. Boom, that's the beginning of the new year. Yes, the article, I think he's supposed to send me the article and and then I'm gonna make copies and give it to everybody. But they did this too because the Catholic religion wanted the equinox to fall on the day of Easter, or to kind of shift with that day, because Easter lands Sunday every year, right after the equinox. But that day could not have fallen. They needed to land. They needed that day to land on Sunday, and there's a whole different thing with that, connected to that, because the Sabbath is the last day, and they want to kind of worship on the first day, so they need to switch it.
Even your birthday is a different day every year.
Right. So, yeah. Well, we're still working on all the material, and I'm gonna make copies. And once we get it, I'm gonna be give it to the congregation. Yes. Oh, the Book of Jubilee. Get that real quick. 6 and chapter 6. You can start in 32. So the Book of Jubilee, for those that don't know, was a record of Jubilee that Moses put together and other patriarchs to kind of understand the time frame from the beginning of time. 32, 6 and 32.
The Book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 32. And commanded thou the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning.
And what's the reckoning? Read.
364 days.
364 days. Read.
And these will constitute a complete year.
And this will be what?
And these will constitute a complete year.
Read.
And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts.
Read.
For everything will fall out in them according to their testimony.
So if you don't follow the cycle, you're gonna be off and not follow the right days. Read.
And they will not leave out any day nor disturb any feast.
Read.
But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons.
Read.
And the years will be dislodged from its order.
Read.
And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged. And they will neglect their ordinances. Verse 34. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years.
Now, in this chapter, it does not telling you, okay, what is the order? What is the proper order? Right? It's telling you, is going to get into what is the wrong order. Read.
Verse 35. For I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not for my own devising, for the book written before me and on the heavenly table.
So this is Moses saying, listen, I have given you the order, and there will be no excuse going forward. Read.
The division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles,
and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles, by doing what? Read.
after their error and after their ignorance.
Read.
Verse 36. For there will be those who will assuredly make observation of the moon.
Of the what?
Of the moon.
Of the what?
Of the moon.
Read.
Now disturbeth the season, and cometh in from year to year, 10 days too soon.
10 what?
10 days too soon.
So if you do the season, if you follow the cycle of the moon, you come in 10 days too short every year. That's the incorrect. So if you observe the cycle of the moon, as we were brought up, as the so-called Jews do, okay, and like I said, a lot of it came to ignorance because we just felt, okay, they stole our identity. So they just pick up our identity because they stole it, and we didn't really question and got into deep into this. Read.
Verse 37. For this reason the years will come upon them, from they will disturb and make an abominable day of testimony, and an unclean day of feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths and feasts and jubilees. Verse 38. For this reason I command and testify to thee, that thou mayest testify to them. For after their death thy children will disturb, so that they will not make the year 364 days only.
That's why the Most High was that's what the Most High was saying, take away from me the noise, because you're worshiping to Moloch. And not only that you was worshiping to Moloch, you was focusing and dealing with the cycle of dealing with Moloch. Now, so in the book of Jubilee, we got in chapter 6, we have the understanding that we cannot follow the cycle of the moon. When you go back to 6, Jubilee chapter 2, okay, it tells you that the Most High created, give me 2 and 8, Jubilee.
The book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 8. And on the 4th day he created the sun and the moon and the stars, and set them in the firmament of the heaven.
Created the sun, the moon, and all the elements, read.
To give light upon the earth.
To give light upon the earth, read.
And to rule over the day and the night, and divide the light from the darkness. And the higher appointed the sun to be a great...
Read that again.
And the higher appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth.
A great sign upon the earth. So that's deep right there. A great sign, not the moon. Read.
For days,
and for days, he gave it a great sign for days,
and for Sabbaths,
and for Sabbaths,
and for months,
and for months,
and for feasts,
and for feasts,
and for years,
and for years. So he gave the great light, the sun, for that, not the moon. Read.
And for Sabbaths of years, and for jubilees, and for all seasons of the years.
That's the job of the sun, not the moon. Now to figure that out, you have to go to the book of Enoch. See that? So it's puzzle. You're not going to get everything in one book. Because first of all, it was never one book. It was always scrolls. So if you want to get one knowledge, you get that scroll. You want to get this knowledge, you get this scroll. So even the epistles in the New Testament, they were all scrolls. These were all divided. The word Bible comes from the Latin word biblios, which means books. They just put all the books together. So this concept, or brother, that's not in the Bible. Brother, this was never put together until like, what, the 2nd century or something. Yeah, so Christ is the 4th century. So it was always scrolls that were put together. We got to get all our scrolls back, so we can get the full understanding. All right? So it's new for us, literally. I mean, those brothers that just came in and sisters, you literally just came in and information we just found out, about 6 weeks ago. Yeah, brother. Yeah.
It's actually Maurice Jones, but I don't know if it's an older version or a newer version.
Okay.
The son brings the exact dates.
The son brings the exact date, right?
Yeah, but it's Maurice Jones' version.
Right.
I guess it's an older version and a newer version.
Right. Right. So, you're studying your own. You Google the Enoch's calendar, the different articles that comes in. But Elder Ricard's going to send me a shipload of stuff that I'm going to print out and I'm going to give to everybody because it's so new. I want everybody. I don't want no blind spots. All right. We don't want no blind spots. All right. So let's do communion. All right. There's also another thing that we do that might be different from most churches and even the Israelite churches, that we do communion, which is when Christ had the Passover, he said, listen, do this in remembrance of me as often as you come together. So that's what we do. Okay? All right, so let's go to Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter.
First Corinthians chapter 11, verse 26. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do shew the Lord's death till he comes. Verse 27. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and of the blood of the Lord. Verse 28. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. Verse 29. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself. Verse 30. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. Verse 31. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 23. For I have received the Lord that which I also delivered unto you, that the Lord Yeshua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it, and said, Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me.
Eat.
Verse 25. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me.
Drink. Let's give the Most High in Christ a hand. All right. Let's do the Lord's Prayer.
Any volunteers?
Any volunteers? Let's see here. No? Not all at once. Brother Proof. You're coming up to do the Lord's Prayer. It's okay. Come on. Thank you, baby. All right. Come around. Do the Lord's Prayer. Sisters, cover your head. Brothers, uncover your head. Don't. brother, if you cover, can you uncover your head? I mean, yeah, the tradition of, sister's covered in, all right, the water, brother. Next week we're gonna, I'm gonna bring forth the calendar. So sister, we gotta meet this, maybe tomorrow we can go up and have a conference. Read the calendar. Okay. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts, and we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. This will be Hebrew Creole. English, any Hebrew? Well, the top Ya'ala, not the top, Yamalah, he knew how to do the Hebrew. You know how to do it in Hebrew, brother? It's been a while, yeah. I know, brother, you know how to do it in Hebrew? You know how to do it in Hebrew? What, the Lord's Prayer? Okay, well, next time. Okay. I just wanted, we're gonna start doing that. We had a brother who was here, but he was overseas. He was the Hebrew master over here.
This is the Hebrew Credo. You can find this in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Doing it in English and doing it in Hebrew. Hear, O Israel.
Hear, O Israel.
The Lord our God is one Lord.
The Lord our God is one Lord.
Hear, O Israel.
Hear, O Israel.
The Lord our God is one Lord.
The Lord our God is one Lord.
Hear, O Israel.
Hear, O Israel.
The Lord our God is one Lord.
The Lord our God is one Lord. I'll do it. I gotta practice it. It's been a while. Shemai. Yesha'ala. Ahaya. Alahaya. Ahaya. Salakim. Ahaya. Salakim. I'm lost here. Shemai. Yesha'ala. Ahaya. Alahaya. Ahaya. Achad. Shemai. Yesha'ala. Ahaya. Alahaya. Ahaya. Achad. Shemai. Yesha'ala. Ahaya. Alahaya. Ahaya. Achad. All right, folks. Love you very much. See you next week.